Turtle.
Hey, Turtle! So, I have a project that I have to do in actually a little bit, and I'm running late for class. So, I just need to run it by you, and I need feedback on if it's good or bad, okay?
Okay.
So, I have to talk about Zero Waste City and how that applies to New York City. So, basically, a zero waste city is a city which generates zero trash. That doesn't mean it doesn't have waste. It just means that it looks at waste as just another product to be used in a different way. An example of this will be a water bottle which I finished. Half of the water bottle is right here as a small garbage can thing, but I also use the other half as a food storage thing. Now, I have my old notes in here, but I'm using a biodegradable bag, so when I throw the bag out, it'll degrade quicker, and the notes in it, for example, or receipts or whatever, will degrade faster as well. Now, this matters a lot because the city generates 12,000 tons of waste a day, and only 17% of that gets recycled. That bottle and that trash would have been sitting in a landfill site for probably thousands of years before the bag became dissolved if it was a normal plastic bag. And then the paper inside would have started dissolving. And that's a big issue. If the city could use that trash in a different way, however, that would not be an issue. We really care about this because we pay $100 per ton of waste that gets thrown out into a landfill. Out of 12,000 tons, that is a massive number just per day. Now, that amount gets taken out of our taxes, and I don't want to be paying for trash. I don't know about anyone else, but I'm pretty sure most of you can agree with me. Now, we also really care about it because our population is growing significantly. Every year, the world population grows by a few million, and so the amount we pay will just go up and up and up as we generate more trash in the city. The city actually wants to be a zero waste city by the year 2030, and a lot of people think that is a really close number for the city to be aiming at. But there have already been multiple programs that have started in the process for that. One program would be the Lower East Side Ecology Center, where they look at old electronics such as cell phones, laptops, or touch devices, and they turn them into works of art. And those actually look marvelous, and I highly suggest people look them up. But it just shows how you could look at trash as just another thing rather than something you forget about. Now, there's also this organization which collects food scraps such as rotten food or food you didn't finish, or yard waste really, such as rotten wood that's just sitting in your backyard. And they take this and they convert that into different resources. They do this by throwing them into these piles where there's bacteria and mold growing, which dissolves the wood and the food, pretty much turning them into fertilizer, which is used for plant life, for agriculture, for feeding people. But they can also use the gas, which is created as a byproduct, to fuel cooking, to fuel cars, etc. Now, this isn't the only way people can save on different trash, but there's one way called the waste to energy method. This method requires the trash to be burned. When trash is burned, it creates a lot of energy, which is the fire, and that energy can be used to heat homes, it can be used to power electric cars, it can be used for many, many different purposes. But it also creates another byproduct, which is ash. And ash, like plastic and metal, can be used in building materials, such as for the foundations on which buildings stand, or the inside infrastructure of buildings, so they won't collapse. Now, this removes all this trash from landfills and gives them a purpose which wouldn't really interfere in our way of life. But burning the trash from in the waste to energy method creates a byproduct which is dangerous, such as dangerous chemicals, so primarily CO2. So these chemicals can be recycled and broken down further by the technology we currently possess, and it would not have a significant impact on the environment. Landfills have a much more significant impact on the environment. For example, there's this one landfill in Long Island, which is over 3 miles long. So that's 3 miles just dedicated to holding trash. That is an absurd amount of land dedicated for that purpose. Now, This has a lot of dangers to the environment because all the chemicals from the trash just leach off into the soil and water around it, contaminating drinking water, contaminating the soil, and killing the wildlife and plant life there. And it just looks disgusting. Thankfully, the landslide got closed a few years ago and is now filled with concrete. And the methane, which is being generated by the landfill, is being taken up by different industries and used as an energy source. But there's still things in there, such as plastic and metal, which we could have used in different purposes. Now, there's also a different other ways of disposing of these resources and repurposing them. But for now, that's all I'll talk about. And I guess that's it. So, what do you think, Rachel?
That was great. I can't see you getting a grade less than an A on that.
Okay, great. Well, I really need to run now. I love you. Bye.
Bye.